Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Venus. Today I'm doing my July TBR. I'm not going to be quite as ambitious as I was for June. We're going to keep it a little bit lighter because I had a massive reading slump in June and it was caused by a book that I thought was going to be fantastic, and for whatever reason I couldn't get through it. So we'll talk about that in my June wrap up. But let's talk about all the books I'm going to read in July. I'm excited because July is also Summerween. That is a readathon hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads and Olivia from Olivia Loves a Latte, and I can't wait. I love bringing a little bit of fall and Halloween into the summer. I have my merch and I'm excited to read some horror and slashers. So we'll talk about those in a minute. I'm going to talk about the books that I need to carry over from June that I'm still reading. So I started Game of Thrones, my reread of Song of Ice and Fire. I am loving being back in this world, but I didn't get very far in the book for June. So I am going to continue reading that in July. And also I did start Lord of the Rings, so I am reading The Fellowship of the Rings, or listening to the audiobook and reading it. And it's so good. So good. So I'm excited to finish those in July. So those are definitely getting completed because I'm already in love with them. If you are new here, every month I take a little spin on my wheel for 22 books that I wanted to read in 2022. So far I'm on track. One of them I did DNF. Again, we'll talk about that in my June wrap up. So I have 12 books left and I try to read 2 of them a month. So I do want to pick those first because a couple of these are pretty long, so it might affect the rest of my TBR. So let's spin the wheel. Namesake. Okay, that's doable. So Namesake by Adrienne Young. This is the second book. And I don't know if this is going to be a trilogy or duology, but it's the second book. The first book was called Fable. It's kind of like a pirate fantasy young adult book. I can barely remember the first book. I read it last year, so I'm definitely going to have to do a recap. But this is a pretty short book. I really loved the first one very much. There's, I think, a bit of romance in this as well. So I'm actually excited to finally get back into this series and get caught up. Malice. Oh, Malice by John Gwynne. Okay. Yay. So Malice by John Gwynne. This is the first book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. I am super excited. I loved the first 2 books in the Bloodsworn trilogy by John Gwynne. So Hunger of the Gods and The Shadow of the Gods. Fantastic. I loved his writing. His pacing was fantastic. The characters were great. So I'm hoping I love this as much, if not more. I know the first book is a little hard to get used to because I think there's a bunch of POVs, but it's got giants and it's fantasy, and yeah, so I am definitely excited to jump into this series. Okay, so let's talk about my Summerween TBR. This readathon takes place July 15th through July 21st, and there are some prompts, so let's go through them. So the first prompt is read a book in the dark or at night, so that's easy. I have my Kindle, so that'll be easy, no problem. Number 2, read a book with Halloween colors on the cover. I've decided to pick Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. It's got a little orange going on here, some green, so I've been trying to get to this book for the last couple months. It was actually on my June TBR and I didn't get to it, so I am hoping, and it's not that long, that I get through this for Summerween. It is a sci-fi horror book, takes place in space, and it is about a abandoned ghost ship, I believe, and that's all I know. But I've been talking about this book for months. I feel like it's been on like my TBR since it's come out. This is happening in July. So that's my first Summerween book I hope to read. Prompt number 3 is read a book with haunt in the title. For that prompt, I'm going to read The Carol Haunt by Darcy Coates. This will be the second Darcy Coates book that I read. The first book was The Haunting of Ashburn House. I think that's what it was called. It was okay for me. I did love the writing. It was very, very slow. It was like a slow burn, but there were some definitely creepy parts that kind of spooked me out a little bit. So I'm hoping that that was just kind of a one-off book for me, and I do enjoy this author. Really, really hoping that, because this cover, I love this cover so much. And all I know, it says, Remy is a tour guide for the notoriously haunted Carol house when she's asked to host when she's asked to host guests for a week-long stay in order to research Carol's phenomena. She hopes to finally experience some of the sightings that made the house famous. So definitely try to read this in the dark with my book lamp, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. The fourth prompt is read a slasher, and I am going to read Kill River by Cameron Rubik. That's a slasher. It takes place in a haunted water park, is what I believe. I'm definitely going into that one blind. I think it's like a trilogy. It has 2 or 3 books. I think it's a trilogy. I think so. I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe if I love it, I will continue on with the trilogy. I'm super excited to read it. I love slashers. They're just fun, quick read. And it takes place in a water park, so it's perfect. Perfect timing for that. So hopefully I get through those pretty quickly. I do plan on vlogging my Summerween, so look forward to that, because the last prompt is also to bake or cook a sweet treat, like fall treat. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but sounds fun. I can't wait, so I'm looking forward to that. And then the last book I'm hoping to get to, but Malice kind of may have messed this up a little bit for me because Malice is a chunker, but I was hoping to read Empire of Silence by Christopher Ruocchio, and this is actually going to be a read-along with Theo from Rekindled Reader and Alex from Tall Guy Reads. I can't remember if there was someone else hosting it or not. If there is, I'm sorry, and I will list your channel below. But yeah, they're doing a read-along for this in July. I don't know if there's specific dates for it. If there are, I'll also post those details below. But I've been wanting to read this. I've heard nothing but great things about it. It's a sci-fi fantasy space opera. I love this cover. It's so cool. But it's also a chunker. So I'm trying not to overextend myself for the month of July. So I'm hoping to read this along with you guys, but we will see how that goes. So that's all I'm promising or hoping to read for July. If for some reason I have more time, I'm going to try to squeeze in some romances that I didn't get to in June, which were the novellas by, I can't think of her name. I'll post them up here. I didn't get to them last month. I probably won't get to them this month, but just in case I have time, I'm still trying to get to them as well. So that is my July TBR. I'm hoping it goes much better than my June TBR, and we will talk about all of the fails for that TBR in my June wrap-up. But that's all I have for you guys. I look forward to Summerween. I'm so excited. Let me know if you are participating in Summerween, or if you're going to jump on the Empire of the Silence read-along with Theo and Alex. Otherwise, let me know what you're reading below, as if I need to add more things to my TBR, but I'm open to it. So thank you guys as always for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you again soon. See ya.